We're back at it again. It's been actually I think maybe 2 weeks since I've made a video. I've been extremely busy working on my rap album dropping this April called Two Little Boys with Water Guns and Gummy Bears. I'm actually just kidding. I can't rap. But if I did, that'd be a good title to a rap album, maybe even a book. Somebody could probably take that idea and make some money off of it. Just make sure you include me. But anyhow, I was I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago about the person asked me, how do I manage to kind of let a lot of the background noise that goes on behind me, how am I able to still live my life in a positive way, in a carefree way for the most part, but also in a way that I don't allow the background noise to affect the things that I do. And we had a long conversation about this, but I'm not going to spend 45 minutes talking about it. Just give you kind of a brief overview of what that conversation was about. Because I think a lot of times as we go through life, and some of these topics I talk about, maybe I've hit on them in the past, but the reason why I talk about some of these topics multiple times is because I'm just so passionate about how I feel about the certain topic, but also I know there are a lot of people out there or people that watch these videos that are trying to get some type of inspiration, or they're trying to figure out different ways to manage some of the things that are going within their immediate lives. And so by me putting out these messages and hitting on topics maybe multiple times, people are able to grasp the concept sometimes of what I'm talking about. So what I was talking to this individual about was being positive. And it was funny that I'm talking about this now, because just the other day I was talking to a guy and he was like, "I'm going to start calling you Mr. Zen." And I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" He's like, "I'm going to call you Mr. Zen." And I was like, "You got to elaborate. That's just a little bit, give me a little bit more information." And he said, "You're just always very calm, cool, collected. You don't let a lot of things get to you." And I kind of started laughing, because that is essentially how I go about things. There are very few things that get to me or get under my skin. And I think one of the reasons that I live that way, or I don't let a lot of things get under my skin, is because a few years ago I was coaching, and I yelled at an athlete, and some of the things that I said to that athlete, used some colorful words that I wasn't too proud of. And it was because I was going through some things at the time, and I let some of my own frustrations seep out into my coaching, and I wasn't proud of myself. And so I made a commitment to myself that I will try my best, and I will make it a significant part of my life of not letting my emotions get the better part of me. And since making that commitment to myself, there's very, very few times where I actually let my emotions get the best of me. Now, I may get frustrated at some things, or may get uncomfortable about things and voice my opinion, but it's rare. It's extremely rare to catch me just full blown, just letting it all out. That's just not the type of person that I am. And to me, I think there are better ways to go about situations than to just blow up on somebody. And so, like I said, I made that commitment to myself that I'll never let those situations or let anything like that happen to me. And I've been true to that commitment that I made to myself. And so, as I was talking to this individual, I was giving them examples of, if I'm driving in the morning, we'll just say on a Monday morning, and somebody's driving slow, or somebody cuts me off, or somebody gives me the finger, I'm just brushing it off my shoulders, because I use this phrase. I said, the way people treat you is not always about you, but a lot of times it's a reflection of who that person is and how that person feels about themselves, and that those actions seep out onto you. And that person's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, a lot of times people aren't gonna bash other people if, one, they're comfortable with themselves, at a good place with themselves, but more importantly, if they respect other people. Now, I won't say that, I won't put everybody in that circle, but for the most part, people don't intentionally lash out at another person if they're in a good place in their lives. And so I always look at how, there's been times where people have treated me, how would you put it? They've treated me in ways that, I wouldn't say they're disrespectful, but I would never treat somebody how that other person treated me. Or I may get the finger, or I was in the gym not too long ago, and I made a joke about to this guy. I think he wanted to use a I think he was actually wanting to use a bench, and he asked me if I was using it, and I was like, I think I said no at first, and then I was like, yeah, actually I'm using that, but if you give me $10, I'll let you borrow it for a little bit. Wow. And he looked at me like he wanted to cut my throat, which is, people just have their panties all in a bunch, and you just need to relax. You need this Zen energy. What's the word? Namaste. I think that's yoga or something like namaste, my friends, namaste. Incorporate some more Zen energy in your life, because as I've learned, the more positive you can spread, the more love you can spread, it makes you happier. I was just watching a documentary on Bob Marley, and man, what a cool dude, what an incredible dude. And he kind of reminds me a little bit of Wiz Khalifa as well, and not for the simple fact that they both smoke weed. That's besides the point, but it's just their demeanor and how they're so positive with people around them, and they make you feel welcome, they make you feel loved. And just imagine, or just think back on times that you've been around somebody that has made you feel welcomed, or you felt loved around that person, or just very, very comfortable. And it's a great feeling. But a lot of people go through life and they have negative energy. They make it uncomfortable for people to be around them, and they don't spread love and positivity. And, the thing is, why do I have the Zen energy about me? Why do I love to spread my positivity? Why do I love to spread my love? Is because I think that as human beings, that's how we, for more times than not, that's how we connect with one another. And I think that being able to connect with other people is such a significant part of living life. But a lot of people miss that for whatever reason. Maybe they're texting on their cell phones, or maybe they're just selfish and in their own little worlds, which is cool. You can be in your own little world, but there's times where positivity and love is the answer. And this is very, and I'll make another point, and this is very, very difficult if you have a big ego. And this is another topic that I went into with this person, is if a lot of people have big egos. And so what I mean by that is everything somewhat revolves around them, or every little thing. They're sensitive to sometimes not having thick skin, or sometimes when they don't get what they want, then they act in ways that are opposite of being positive, or showing other people compassion, love, this, that, and the other, and empathy. And this is something that I went through as I was younger, is I had a big ego. And that's still something I work on, because we all have an ego, and it shows up in different aspects of our lives. We all have egos. And this is something that I've worked extremely hard on, because as a former athlete, it was very easy for me to have that big ego and go through life of thinking that I was entitled to some things, or that I thought I can get whatever I wanted. Now I'll say this. Yes, we can have a mindset of getting what we want, but there's a time where you have to understand that you won't always get what you want. And when you have a big ego, sometimes you get a little butthurt. And I'm living proof of that, because this is the same thing that I went through, and I work through that, of how to figure out how to be aware of my ego, but also how to manage my ego in a way that it doesn't affect the things that I'm doing in my life. And when it comes to positive energy, yes, you can have positive energy and you can have a big ego. You can be very selfish with what you want in life, which is fine too. But again, showing other people love, showing other people positivity. That's what it's all about. So, and I'll leave you with this here. And it was a quote that I saw, and this was it kind of wrapping up the conversation that I was having with that other individual, is and this was going back to, how do I live my life in a Zen-like way, a positive way, and just me not being subject to some of the things that go on behind my back or in the background as far as noise. And, there are times where, this is a good one, where people have talked behind my back, and some of the things. I think one example, some kid was going around, and then this is going way back to high school, and he was told somebody I was selling him drugs. I was like, bruh, nah, that's not me. And I was very insecure at the time about what people said behind my back. I was also very, I had a thick skin, but when it came to people talking behind my back, sometimes I had an issue with that. I wasn't comfortable with who I am. So I was just very, very self-conscious about that, and very insecure about that. To now, I usually don't even bother. It's like I want to say it was Lion King, where, I don't know if it was Simba, and he was jumping on his dad, and his dad was just kind of sitting there like, all right, get out of here, pipsqueak. That's kind of how I manage those things, because there's always going to be somebody that talks behind your back, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's neutral. And again, I go back to saying, usually how people treat you or how people talk about you sometimes is a reflection of them and their own insecurities. So I never think about it as, well, this person's talking behind my back, so it must be an issue with me. I never think about it that way anymore. I say, okay, that person's talking bad about me behind my back. Okay, no big deal. That's their own problem, not mine. It's just another twist of how to turn things into more of a positive than actually letting it affect you in ways that stunts your growth and stunts the progression of your future self. And this quote that I saw was I don't remember this guy's name, but he said, "Nothing is worth the price of your peace of mind." So again, nothing is worth the price of your peace of mind. So when people talk about me behind my back, or if somebody gives me the finger while I'm driving, or somebody cuts me off, or somebody speaks to me in a way that is negative, a lot of times I just let those, unless it's threatening or in a way that I need to speak up. But a lot of things I let slide. And I let them slide right in front of my face. People lie to me, I let it slide right in front of my face. Why? Because I don't want to be bothered with the negativity. So I just let it slide and just keep my train moving. So again, nothing is worth the price of your peace of mind. All of that has to do with my peace of mind. I don't want to entertain things that don't positively affect my peace of mind. If they affect me in a negative way, I'm not going to bother with it. And more times than not, I might not even say anything about it to anybody because I don't want to be bothered by it, and I don't want it to come back around and say, hey, you remember when you were talking about this? Once I'm done with something, this just rolls off my shoulder. Well, I say for the most part, rolls off my shoulder, and I let it slide. I may bring it up in conversation here and there just to get the few little bits and pieces off my chest, and then we're just moving on. It's peace of mind. So peace of mind is so important, but a lot of times people let little things that are said behind their back, little middle finger, this, that, and the other, let them affect their positive mind, their positive mindset, to where now they're on defense, reacting to things instead of just sitting back and letting things happen. So anyway, that was the message for this week. Like I said, I've been a little bit busy, not working on my rap album. Just been doing things here and there, and haven't had a little bit of time to sit down and make some of these videos. So if you enjoyed this video, if you got value from this video, and you have different parts of this video that kind of hit a nerve with you, let me know. Shoot me a DM, comment, double tap, like it, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram at KOATSC. Until next time, we'll chat soon.